Greetings, traders! A PC Monk here with another Bitcoin video. In this video, we want to continue our presumption of that 28.1 or even higher, 29.2. Now, you've been like, man, you've been saying that 28.1, we're not there, man. What's up with you? And I'm like, we have to take it level by level. So first, I've said we have to break 26.8. We did that. Then I said we have to break 27.5 or at least hit 27.3. We did that yesterday, right around here, as you guys could see. Oh, I'm sorry, not this one, this one. That's actually the previous one. So if I take a look at this, we essentially went to 27,304. Now, right now, I mean, I woke up a little bit late. That's why I'm recording late and all that stuff. Sorry, guys. But nonetheless, we could see that there was a little bit of sweep here. And we are right now, if I put it on probably 15 minutes, we'll talk. We are holding the previous day close. And that was essentially what we had yesterday before the pump. Right? So this is very important, guys. You have to keep this in mind. Whenever we're holding that previous day close above it, um, that's bullish. Okay. I mean, that don't go with that only, but that itself is kind of bullish. And especially when we have a move like this, so and we're holding it, it's bullish. Now I wanted to, before I continue, obviously we do have the fundamentals. First we're going to take a look at those. Right now Bitcoin funding rates is negative. The lowest funding rates right now, it's not TRB anymore, it's Loom. So the TRB, pump it to the moon could be done and TRB could die. The rest of them are kind of okay. Some of them are a little bit negative, but that's not the case. Right now, as you can see, ETH and Bitcoin, they are both, I mean, with this little pump that we had, they both removed a lot of shorters. As you can see, when Bitcoin is moving, most of the coins are moving and they are liquidating a lot of shorters. As you can see, the 24 hours rect is 79 million and shorters are 63. So this is a huge gap between shorters and longers. A lot of people that think Bitcoin's going down getting liquidated. And so I have essentially, I think I had a theory, okay, and this theory is actually needs a little bit time to explain it. I'll explain it on the weekend. I'm probably gonna make a video tomorrow, but usually I don't do videos on the over the weekends, okay? Just to let you guys know. So right now, if you take a look at this, and I'm gonna remove these. What do we see here? We see a lot of uh, longers. I'm sorry, a lot of shorters here, and 50x and 100x, right? We're very close to liquidate them. Obviously, there's a lot here, so build the liquidity to the downside, and then we go there. Now, one thing to mention on a daily, on one day, so you can see our target is essentially 28.1, right? Clear the previous weekly close. Previous week high, okay, not previous week close, previous week high is 28.1, the previous week high. But one thing to mention is when you want to sweep that, you go a little bit higher, right? So you go to that 28.3 or 28.4. Around there, you sweep it and then you come back down. Keep that in mind, guys. Now, why am I telling you this? Because at 28.3, we have 8,900 million, right? Now, around 26K, all right, only around 26K, there's 1.15 billion, okay? And around 25.1 is 1.54 billion. That's a lot of money, all right? And Bitcoin needs to build up that liquidity and get the liquidity from these people. So what's going to happen is when we hit this and they all get liquidated, it's going to trigger buy, right? Because you had a sell stop, you had a short, and now you're closing it, so you're triggering buys. So you see, we will wake up very insanely probably, and then you see all of that body of the candle is getting completely retraced in the same move. And that's what I think is going to happen. And take a look at the 12 hours right now. This liquidation heat map is not showing us that much, right? Well, there's nothing up. There's maybe something here. But if we go to 1 month, then we see, if we have a little bit wider range, then we see that there is actually a lot there. I don't know why it's not loading. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Now we see there's a lot of clusters around 27.6, 27.5. Essentially, that is a daily close itself that we have to get a daily high. My bad, it's not a daily close. But we could see that this, as the cluster goes into yellow, we have 802 million essentially around here, right? So we do want to sweep a little bit higher. We want to sweep those because if you're short around 28K, your probably stop loss would be 28.2, all right? I mean, depends on your leverage, but so yeah, I think we're gonna go there. And if you take a look at the longers versus shorters right now, very bullish and bullish are kind of a little bit bigger than bearish and very bearish. And there's a reason because they are getting, stopped out or they're getting liquidated. That's why we need these two to decrease a little bit even more. All right, and with that being said, guys, I've showed you guys everything on the fundamentals. Now I want to talk about the candlestick as we guys can see right now. So what are we doing? And this is Bitcoin 1 hour. All right, we are essentially right now we made a lower high. We made a lower high. So this indicates what you might call it. This indicates weakness. So I think we could see a retest around this equilibrium, which is 26.6, 26.5. Fill this gap and come back up. That's a possibility, of course, with this one. Or one more thing. Right now, as you guys could see, this red candle is inside this green candle, and this is 26 minute. We could essentially start holding this area and yeah, consolidate here. But or we could come back all the way down essentially to, do you see this big change of character that happens from this area, which was, this was bearish, right? And this made it bullish, but then it got rejected right away, and then we crawled back up. Essentially something like this, right? We had the same on 31K. You know what? I'm gonna actually show you guys that 31K so you guys know what I'm talking about. So something just like this, guys. Something just like this. So you see right in here, we pumped and dumped. Then we crawled back up, right? And that's true, we dumped here and then we picked it back up, which is not essentially like what we have. But the point is, we crawled back up and made a new high. Again, right here was the same. Second. Right here was the same. And we pumped and dumped and then we pumped it back up. So right here should be the same. We pumped and dumped and we pumped it back up, but this has to be a little bit higher, probably around here. We want to not a good collapse, not a catastrophic collapse, but a good collapse to the downside. So essentially, Bitcoin is getting to the point that could retrace back down. I accept to clean 28.1, which is this orange line, and if that happens, depends on the momentum and depends on the strength that Bitcoin has, we could see 29.4. I've mentioned that in a couple of my videos. If you're following me, I'll appreciate your support. Uh, but I don't know if this is gonna happen or not, okay? Because this is actually a big move. Even from here, it's an 8% move. 8% move on a Friday. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, guys. But I'm kind of more optimistic to clean this 28.1, essentially come around here. Let me just come around here and then push it back down. That is what I'm optimistic about. So, and that's not a much. Like if we just clear this liquidity around here, clear this fair value gap, and then come back up to this, it's only a 4%, or we could say 5%, 5%. We could see that any day if Bitcoin has some, decent volatility. I think you accept with me on that. Now, what I want to talk about again on a lower time frame is a trend line or a trend pattern, which we call it a pennant, right? So these pennants, you can take it from here, it will work out, or you can take it from here too, with a little bit of differences. But the point is, we debated the breakdown and then we picked it back up. But as you guys can see, there's not much to it, and this is a 15 minutes time frame. There's not much to it. There's not much momentum into it. You guys could see this momentum or this momentum. But the thing that makes this a pennant, first of all, we are inside of this body, right? It's not outside of it. The other thing is, it exited to the downside. It debated everybody or the bulls, and right now it's picking it back up. So, like I said, guys, if we hold, and this pattern just looks like it wants to go a little bit higher. Like if we hold around here and then we consolidate here, or we crawl up, we slowly crawl up, that is bullish. Now, obviously, going up is bullish, but even if we slowly crawl up, just like what we did yesterday, we crawled up, and then when New York Times opened, New York stocks open, we went up. So this could happen just the same as yesterday. We could have the same move, but what I'm worried about is when we get around here, right? Uh, are we gonna hold it, or are we gonna, go higher? That really, we have to keep our eyes on the funding rate on Bitcoin and the open interest. So today there's something else that I want to talk about. I usually, sometimes do it, sometimes don't. We could see that on this pump we had a decent amount of open interest, right? But right now it's coming back down. It's crawling back down, but it's kind of in the downtrend. And right here it stopped. Right here we broke the downtrend. We broke the structure. So right now, maybe, only maybe, it wants to do an inverse head and shoulder. You know, something like this. And we have to take a look at the open interest as we are hitting to that 28.1. How is this, reacting for us? That's a very important part that you have to take a look. And just for the fun of it, you guys could see that after we exited this, you could call it rising wedge, or you could call it a bear flag. Both will do. I'm just calling it a rising wedge. We exited right now. There's a possibility to retest around here and or even around here. And I'm waiting for that, but we could just, get back to our Bitcoin really. So I've talked to you guys about that, about our, plan really, and there's not much to it anymore. But one thing you have to keep in mind that Dixie literally retraced. Okay, obviously I had my line here and I was like flexing over it, look at my lines and everything. But nonetheless, it went higher and made this beautiful. If we take a look at it, probably on the 1 hour should be visible. We make this, head and shoulder, as you guys could see, this head and shoulder, and right now we're down. So essentially, this is going to be the neckline, all right? And now we're going down, and right now we are below previous close, as we could see, and we are losing the momentum. Like I said, I think Dixie has to come and retest this area before any other move, and if that happens, Bitcoin will go high. Now, again, we have to take a look at Dixie. We have to take a look at everything today. Today is actually an important day, okay? And but one thing to mention, VIX is coming down. VIX is coming down like a good boy, and with that, I think the volatility maybe on stock market is going to go lower a little bit. As you guys can see, even in Q1 was doing this head and shoulder yesterday, and it picked it up, and and let's take a look at SPX. SPX2, SPX, like I said, it wants to fill this gap, and it did it halfway through. So maybe today we start a little bit lower, we retest our previous day close, and then we push it back up, right? That's a possibility. But obviously, Bitcoin needs to be a little bit higher for this pushback to happen because we don't want to lose that momentum. All right, so just to conclude, and I think we're over with the session, this recording session. Bitcoin, if it holds this area, it's very bullish. We could see that 29.4 come into tuition. All right. But our target, or my target, is essentially 28.1 to 28.4. All right. That's my target. It might change, depends on the volatility and the movement. All right. Right now, we have a chance to clear this equilibrium, or at least retest it. And if that fails, the last place you want to hold is essentially here, 26.2. I don't think we're going to come to 26.2. All right, but I might give it a shot at 26.3 essentially. But if you lose this, then it could be a little bit, questionable that if we're going to go up or not. If not, then yeah, if you hold this, like I said, and that's it, guys. If we come down after we touch that 28.4, I think we're going to kind of retrace it all the way back to 26.8 or around here. All right, so either 26.8, we're going to retrace it back to 26.8, or we're going to retrace it back to 26.3. And with that being said, did I show the disclaimer? I don't remember. This is the disclaimer. You usually should show it at the beginning, but anyway, this is not a financial advice. And thank you guys for all the support and everything. I don't want to, continue to, get your head. What am I even telling you? Anyway, thank you guys for supporting me in every way you can. Like, supports this boost and everything. Stay safe and stay green. I'm super, super excited for today, whatever the outcome is. See you guys on probably tomorrow or on Monday, who knows.